How do you future-proof your brand? It's simple. First of all, stop pretending things aren't changing, because your clients, they are scattered across TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, all the places. You need their attention. Are you Google searching? Probably not as much as you used to. The behavior is shifting fast. Then there's the stuff that nobody wants to talk about, like your website's user experience, your content strategy, if you even have one, your tech stack. And I want to break down today what it means to really future-proof your brand and why skipping this step this year and future years will really hurt you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to get to all the things that really matter the most in 2025 when it comes to future-proofing your brand. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to get into future-proofing your brand because I don't know if you realize how important this is, but it is increasingly more and more important. When it comes to my industry, which is the digital marketing industry, specifically search engine optimization, search in general, if you pay attention to anyone in the industry, you may hear things like search is changing, it's evolving, we have to be more brand focused, focus more on the brand, making sure that your clients' brands are serving up in results that are found in certain AI search models. And so the reasons why are varied. However, what you should understand, and I probably will share this in the show notes to this episode today, but there are many studies, recent one, of course, that really focused mostly on homepage traffic in particular. And this was the reason why that I'm talking about your brand more specifically, because of the way that search traffic has evolved to a point where people are now visiting more homepages now more than ever. There always was a lot more traffic going to a homepage than any other page in a website. Generally speaking, that has been the case. But as a result of this new study, and as we've really adopted AI search a little bit more now than 6 months or even a year ago, it has gotten more popular. And what you'll notice if you perform any kind of an AI search, let's say, what is the best email marketing software, you're going to see the names of the brands that are actually mentioned in that AI overview, and you'll likely then get to know that brand. So whether it's Active Campaign, for example, which I do think that actually shows up, you will then, if you don't know anything about Active Campaign, you'll then start using that brand to conduct your search. And so again, whether you continue in Google or some other platform, you're going to then use that brand as your point of search, because you're really, now you've sort of already done your initial trying to understand which is the best software for your email marketing campaigns. But if you're going to do an evaluation of email marketing software or podcasting software, or name whatever it is that you're trying to do some research on, you're probably going to go to many other platforms. I know that I do. If I'm looking for a particular comparison or review, I do like to come here to YouTube and search for whatever that is, because I'm not necessarily looking for the unboxing, though I know people do gravitate still to that. I still think people want to know, how are you using that software? So for example, if I used Active Campaign as my example, do you want to see someone actually using that software? Could you then envision yourself using that software? Do you see if it's user-friendly or not? So that's a long tangent I'm getting on, but the point of that is to say that brand is becoming more and more important. Whatever the brand is, if it's the company that you're working for, if it is your own company, if it is your name as your brand. I have branded this channel as my own name, and so therefore that is my personal brand. So I have segmented my personal brand and my consulting brand. And the way that I've done it is I'm having two separate conversations, one here with you about personal brand, evolving as a consultant and as a business owner. This is also where my podcast, A Founder's Lab, lives. And so this is where I'm talking about all things being a founder. At bartoliconsulting.com, which is my consulting website, that is really where I'm geared towards B2B. I'm talking to specifically manufacturing companies as a way for me to help them with their digital marketing. I also use LinkedIn as a platform where I'm talking and having those kinds of conversations. Now I'm going to share my screen with you because I really want to show you something, what we're looking at. And this is SparkToro.com. This, as I mentioned, is a really, really beneficial tool, especially if you're doing digital marketing. This is really where you should start with all of your strategy. And if you're doing this for your own business, it's still a good place to start for your strategy. And what I've done here is I put my own consulting website in to really give you a sense as to the audience analysis that this gives me. So if I cared about the gender, which I don't, but if I cared about gender of who is actually visiting my website, I could take a look at that here. But I like to look at the employer industries. Where are they really mostly focused? I find it interesting that information technology and services, number one. Number two, financial services, which I think is interesting. Number three, computer software. Okay. And then fourth is management consulting. That gives me a good glimpse into sort of the backgrounds of the people that do visit my site. The other aspect I would like to share with you too is those places or the search that occurs when people are searching for my website. So I can see left to right, Google is still being used predominantly by the majority of people when they're looking for this website. I also typically do find it similar when I'm doing analysis for my other clients. I'll typically see that as well. The other one is, this is Bing, which is number two. Then this is Wikipedia, Reddit, Amazon, and then ChatGPT. So you might look at this and say, wow, you really need to double down on ChatGPT because, wow, look at that. It's way up there, but it works left to right. This is Google is the number one, followed by Bing, Wikipedia, etc. I'm going to go right down to the platforms because I think this is a good place, the social networks. When I started out in this video, I was explaining to you that they really are everywhere. It's really, really important to understand how your brand is being interpreted across YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Quora, WhatsApp, and all the others. If I'm going to look at this, I'm going to focus my efforts, number one, on YouTube, number two, on LinkedIn, which is good because here is really where my personal brand is, and LinkedIn is where I focus my efforts from a consulting perspective. So these are the things that you really need to dig in and understand. Practice building up your personal brand in these spaces. So the next question you're probably asking is, okay, because the other things I mentioned were content strategy, your tech stack, your user experience. I'm not going to take 20 minutes to go through each of these things, but I will show you that the tech stack I use for my website, and this is my website here, I use Kajabi. I used to be a huge proponent of WordPress, and for certain situations, I still am. However, my focus is on strategy. It's building up my brand. It's helping out my prospective students and clients. My number one focus is going to be there and not bothering to update my WordPress platform or worrying about what hosting package I should be using or what template I should choose or finding a designer. If you are a relatively small business, this is really all you need. I have actually had a branding expert tell me that she was completely impressed with my choice of website branding here. While I appreciate it, I'm certainly no branding expert and I'm certainly not a designer. But what I am is somebody who does have an eye for user experience and is able to see that where it is when you visit my website, I ultimately want you to go and where I want you to gravitate to. And so I've got a number of different calls to action, which is something you should always have because we've got to constantly be engaging. This is no longer the 1990s where you have a brochure as a website. Your website should be doing the work of bringing those people who are slightly or mildly interested into your world, whether they're on an email list or into a booked meeting with you, some kind of interaction. I mentioned in a previous video, which I'm going to make sure that I post up here somewhere. I will make sure that I mention selecting a niche, but just as important as it is to select your niche, it is also important to make sure that you have the right technology in place. Do not want to spend time and energy going from one platform to another. I've seen and heard people say, is Kajabi good? Is Go High Level good? Is ClickFunnels good? They're all good to one degree or another. It's what is going to work for you. And so that's why I would encourage you to, whether it's, having a conversation with me or many others, and even searching through YouTube, to really kind of understand which is the right platform for you and for your needs. For me, it is Kajabi, and there's many reasons why. Here's a free course that I offer. It's called Amplify Your Brand. And you can very easily access each of the different videos along with any kind of lesson information that I have here. It's just very easy to go from one step to the next. Shows you the module. It's in video format, and I can also include links to things. I can put a checklist. I can even have a quiz here if I wanted to as well. So very easy place to host a course. Or in this situation, this is a place where it's accessible to anyone. If you go to bartoliconsulting.com/amplify, go ahead and pop in your email and you get free access to this. I do not charge for this, because the point is I want you to be able to help amplify your personal brand. And so this is a nice complement to what I'm just talking about today, actually. Another software I love using is Riverside. And again, I'm going to make sure that I do a little bit of a deeper dive on that. I'm actually recording this video using Riverside. I use it for my podcast. If I got a short clip or something, you can easily clip things up, share them on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or any other place as well. I will make sure that I put a link below so that you can access Riverside as well. All right. That's it for this video, but I just really wanted to make sure that you understood and got the principles. Number one, making sure that you do understand who your audience is and where they actually are, not where you think they are. They are likely using many other platforms, not just this one and not just Google, but they are in other places. And so it's really important whether you use SparkToro or some other software. SimilarWeb is also very helpful as well. And I'll make sure that I include these in the show notes below. But you should also make sure that you're understanding who your audience is and really identifying where they are, because you want to make sure that you're appealing to them with the content that you can best help them with. Number two is your tech stack, and making sure that you're not getting bogged down and wasting time and energy on one platform and switching back and forth, as I said, whether you're using Kajabi or WordPress or Go High Level or whatever it is. Just pick a software and get comfortable with it. And then number three is the user experience. Of course, if you're not able to use it, how do you think your prospective students or clients are able to use it? And when I say user experience, I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of what a designer or a branding professional might look at a user experience, but it's just when they come to your website or whatever opt-in page you provide them with, make sure it's easy for them to access and easy for them to figure out how to opt into something or book a meeting with you, or whether it is a blog article, a white paper, whatever that is, make sure it's easy for them to access. And finally, make sure that you always incorporate a call to action, whether that is booking a call with you or liking the video, which I hope you do for this video, or maybe something as simple as downloading a white paper. Whatever that is, you want to be able to get something back from those people that you're providing some level of value to. And that's also going to help amplify your brand further. If you want to learn how to amplify your brand and get even stronger and smarter as a personal brand or as a larger business brand, I want you to go ahead and go to my website. I'll make sure that I put the link below, but it's bartoliconsulting.com/amplify. Access that free 3-part video series. It's really going to help you really think through a little bit better about way to future-proof your brand. Now more than ever, we really need to make sure that we're protecting our brand. So hopefully you got something out of this. And if you've got any questions, drop those in the comments below. I'd love to be able to hear from you. Thanks for watching.